Hey guys, I'm Lynnie with Sunflower Spirit Tarot, and I'm here with a message for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any other significant placements. This will be a general message, so whatever I see is what I'm going to read, but I will be focused on love and romance. I just wanted to take a moment out to strongly encourage you to subscribe. I know it doesn't seem like much, but it would make a huge difference to me, and I would love to have you as a member in this growing community of individuals who are determined to attract their best relationships. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. All you have to do is click the subscribe button underneath this video, and if you would like to receive notifications every time I post, then click the little bell that comes up after you have subscribed. To all of my sunflowers, my current subscribers, I love you, I see you, I appreciate you, and thank you for allowing me to read for you. Let's grow together. Now let's get back to the reading. So you may be in a situation where someone is wanting to be in partnership with you, or you are currently already in a partnership with somebody that you really value, that you see a future with, somebody that you feel like could be wish fulfillment in human form, right? So it looks very positive, and yet you're in this energy of the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is somebody who is very wary, very worried about the other shoe dropping all the time. Like, what's going to happen if I let my guard down? What's going to happen if I'm not vigilant and if I'm not kind of on defense all the time? What will happen? You know, this person might seem a little bit too good to be true. The masculine energy here is what I'm feeling is this energy that's very emotionally available, very loving, charming, handsome, wanting to come into the situation with full cooperation, communication, and some sort of, deepening of a connection. This person might be very intense. They could be a Scorpio, Pisces, or a Cancer. They might come on really, really strong. Now, the issue here that I'm feeling potentially from your side. Now, reverse the roles however they fit. Just don't force anything, right? The issue here is that somebody is totally dedicated to their work or a very specific project. Maybe you're in school, or someone in the situation is in school, and they feel like that is where all of their attention needs to be. There's something here about like someone knows that once they are kind of turned on emotionally, meaning once they're in a situation where they want to date somebody or they want to be with somebody, their brain gets scrambled. Okay, there are people in this world who cannot think straight when romance is introduced into their life. It begins to take everything over. And that's really triggering for somebody in this situation because they're just not used to having to prioritize romance. This is somebody, I'll hold this up once again, because to me, it really depicts where this person's energy is going. Now, this could be you, this could be, excuse me, the person that you're dealing with. All of their energy is invested in this pinnacle. Now, this could be somebody trying to get their money up, or like I said, totally invested and focused on a project that they're working on. They don't have any time, effort, or energy to devote to romance because they feel like it will take them off their square. Like they won't be able to focus, they won't be able to get things done. But I think Spirit might be encouraging you to take a risk, or encouraging the person that you're connected to, if that is not you, right? To take a risk, to jump in, to try, right? Because it's not about avoiding something, right? Sometimes when we feel like, okay, if I do this thing, I'm going to get carried away. So I'm just never going to do it again. I'm never going to touch it again. I'm not even going to look at it again because I know that as soon as I'm involved with this thing, I'm going to get carried away. And instead of saying, well, maybe I should expose myself to this in a controlled way, right? So that I can learn moderation, so that I can learn to exercise that muscle of self-control, right? Of discipline, of boundaries. Because sometimes, when you're young, when you're a teenager in relationships, you have all the time in the world. You don't have a job, or even if you do, it's not like, you're not supporting a household. You don't have a mortgage, right? It's just you and this other person all over each other all the time. You see each other all day at school. You want to finish the day with each other, talking, texting, video calling, whatever it is that you want to do. But I mean, back when I was a teenager, we couldn't do all that. But basically, you want to see this person and be with this person as much as possible, and it totally consumes you. All of a sudden, you don't have anything else going on except for this person. This person is what you have going on, right? And then as you get older and as you experience more relationships, you realize that you have to prioritize the other things in your life, because if you make a relationship your entire life, then when that relationship ends, what do you have? What do you have? And hopefully with a healthy relationship, it won't ever end. But codependency is not healthy. And that's exactly what that is. Looking to romantic relationships to give your life meaning and purpose is a dangerous game to play. You're giving up all of your power, all of your self-control over to your emotional state that is directly attached to this other person. So when they're happy, you're happy. When they're not happy, you think something's wrong with you, right? When the relationship is great, you're happy, everything's wonderful. But when the relationship is not doing so great, you're down in the dumps, you're miserable, nobody can get through to you. You see how dangerous it is to completely attach your value or your sense of self or purpose to a romantic relationship, because then your entire personality will be dictated by the state of that romantic relationship. This is something that you may have felt that you have done in the past, and you're avoiding romantic relationships as a way of not having that issue ever again. Maybe you've been single for the past 8 years simply because you feel like you are not fully able to dive into your work, to totally focus on school, to totally focus on your projects when you are romantically connected to somebody. But that's not just a personality issue. That's not your personality. It's more like an exposure thing. It's more like a practice and an exercise thing. You just have this muscle that you've neglected for so long and it's atrophied, right? Or it just never got developed in the first place. Maybe you had one relationship when you were young where it consumed you, and when it was over, you were devastated and you were like, never again. I'm just going to totally focus on what I got going on. Now you're meeting this person who could be coming into your life. It looks like they're in the masculine energy, right? They're coming into your life. And it's almost like a dream. It's almost like a fantasy. It's almost like, who is this person? Maybe it's just a crush, right? It could just be that, but it feels so much more serious to you because you're just not used to having any kind of emotional connection to people romantically. Okay, so let's start clarifying. Knight of Swords. We got the Ace of Cups. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is this energy that you feel like as soon as romance enters your life, you're out of there. Look at this Knight of Swords. This is somebody who is just on the move, on the go. This represents a sudden shift of perspective, or a sudden shift in priorities, right? Because once this Ace of Cups is introduced, you're all for that. And basically, if you look at the spread here, it's kind of taking the energy away from this Eight of Pentacles. That is the worry here. That's the anxiety here. That's what's stressing you out. So once again, it's just a confirmation of the message that I've already shared. But there is new love on the horizon. I will say that new love is coming into your life, and you will be somewhat, because you have not exercised that emotional muscle. Yeah, you might be overwhelmed. And yeah, you might want to devote all of your time, effort, and energy into this person. But as soon as you realize you're doing it, you can snap back into reality and say, hey, wait, I have other priorities. I have a life. I have things that I need to do. Okay? Nine of Swords. So I don't think it's about avoiding love. Okay? Queen of Wands here. And we got the Fool. So you know that you want to take this risk. You know you can't stop thinking about this person. This person's on your mind all the time. And what I will say is that this person might think about you a lot as well. Y'all might just be thinking about each other, having like a little mind meld telepathy thing going on, right? Y'all might just be thinking about each other. You are someone that people find really attractive, but there's something unattainable about you because you are so driven and so focused. The Queen of Wands is somebody, she don't need no man, okay? She values her partnership with the King of Wands when that comes into play, right? When in the grand scheme of tarot, right? But she can stand independently and alone. And there are some queens that are a little bit more submissive and feminine when it comes to being in a relationship with the masculine. This queen is probably the most independent, the most high-spirited, the most determined. This is a queen who is all about, like, how can I create success for myself? How can I just dive deep into my passions? This queen is all about creating the life that she desires with or without a partner. So it doesn't really matter if the partner is in the picture or not. This queen is going to do what she wants to do, what she feels strongly about. That's what you're afraid of. You're afraid that if you open your emotions to this person, you're going to feel too strongly about them and you won't be able to control yourself. You know that you're a very passionate person. You know you can kind of get carried away a little bit. You know you can be a little bit reckless when it comes to your relationships. And just knowing that means that you are so much more aware of yourself than you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, right? So if you just know that about yourself, then you can better manage it. You can better manage your behavior. Now, I'm not saying, don't be open to this person. Don't allow yourself to kind of blossom within this relationship. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, you can see when you're getting a little carried away and say, hey, take a deep breath. I have to take this exam in the morning, so I can't go out with them tonight. Or I have to get up early for work in the morning, so we cannot, so I can't spend the night over their house. That sort of thing. It's like making those responsible choices. And I think that this person will understand, even if you feel like you want to do something different. Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups. We got the Eight of Swords. Okay, so keeping yourself in this state of denial, you think, is what's going to end this. You think, well, if I can just stop thinking about this person, if I can just stop spending time with them, if I can just stop running into them, if I can just stop, then it'll all go away. It'll all go away. But that's what's keeping you more confused. Here's the thing about being a passionate person. If you suppress the things that spark that passion, it's going to be like almost an irresistible urge to act on those things later, right? You're putting so much pressure on this thing. There's only a matter of time before it explodes. We got the Wheel of Fortune. It's just encouraging you to remember, you can take your time. You don't have to rush into anything. And this is about moderation. It's not about trying to control how you feel or control yourself to the point where you're so suppressed, right? It's about moderation and just trying to convince yourself, like, I don't really like them like that. I don't really want to, I don't want to go there. I don't want to. Yes, you do. And that's okay, because it's human and it's healthy to connect with other people, especially having romantic relationships. Okay. You are a passionate person. I find that passionate people tend to get really super serious about people super fast. And if that's the case for you, then let them know. Like, you can even say, like, not the first conversation that you have, but if you're, in communication with this person regularly, you can be like, hey, I have a tendency to get kind of carried away with anything that I do. I'm a very passionate person. So I'm going to have to really pull back when I have other responsibilities to attend to. That sort of Thing. Okay. Four of Wands. But just pretending like you don't care about this person, like you don't have a crush on this person, that you don't think about this person nonstop, in all kinds of situations, is not going to be enough to kind of end this, basically. Yeah, you have the secret desire to be in partnership with them, but you really enjoy being single and on your own. You're somebody who really enjoys your solitude. You're not lonely. Okay. You might be single. You might have been single for even up to 8 years or so. You're not lonely, okay? You enjoy your own company. You enjoy solitude. You're a very introspective and potentially even introverted person in most environments, although you have the capacity to be very extroverted if you're showing up here as the Queen of Wands, very social, very charming and magnetic. That might be you. You might be averse to people always being attracted to you, because then you have to be like, no, get away from me, okay? You have a tendency to isolate. You have a tendency to seek solitude, even in situations where other people might want you to be around. And when it comes to the Four of Wands, it's like you find a lot of safety in your comfort zone, because you know that your emotions are not going to be triggered or challenged. You're not going to have to prove yourself. You're not going to have to try very hard. You find enjoyment and fulfillment and the things that you can almost predict, and things that are like processes or like natural progressions, right? Like getting a degree, right? You take so many classes at a time, you get so many credits, you kind of like, you're not turned on necessarily by instant gratification. You like the slow burn, you like things that build over time. And this relationship can too. I think that you just acknowledge that you have a tendency to get carried away emotionally a little bit, because you are a passionate person. And I keep saying that, and I want to keep reminding you, like, that's okay. That's normal for you. Like, there's not something wrong with you because you are a passionate person, because you feel things deeply, because you want to act on things that you feel like spark your inner light. That's a healthy, normal thing for someone who lives at this level of passion. What isn't healthy or normal is pretending that you don't have these passions and suppressing them until there's, like I said, so much pressure on them they just explode, right? I feel like normally you're able to keep yourself very safe by just kind of isolating and being in solitude. But I think that you're going to find that you feel very conflicted when you're in your quiet moments now, because this person has been introduced, and they're introducing a greater aspect of life itself, not just this person themselves. Eight of Pentacles. The Fool. So there's a thing about healthy detachment, okay? So detaching yourself from your projects, detaching your emotional self from the things that you're working on. Because sometimes we tend to attach too much of our value and our identity to what we do. And we allow what we do to define who we are. And when those things are taken away from us, we can suddenly feel lost, or as if we don't have an identity, or we don't know who we are, right? And I think that there is an element here about being emotionally detached from the things that you're doing, not assigning so much value, learning that things take time and take, effort and intentional, an intentional devotion of energy, right? So being clarified by the Fool is like, if you do the work, right? If you are exercising this muscle, if you are trying to find the middle ground so that you can have everything that you want in this life, you will succeed. Just continue exercising this muscle and don't ever give up on yourself. Don't ever feel like you're too far gone, or you get too deep too fast all the time, or you're just too emotional and you just can't handle it. I think that you found a way to emotionally detach yourself from the things that you're working on. So use that same mentality and apply it to romantic relationships, and you will be really successful. I feel like there's something that you might be pursuing that takes you to a higher level, like being in college or getting a promotion at work and things like that. And maybe that's what you're up for. Maybe you're up for a promotion at work and you're like, I got to totally focus on work right now. If there is like an end date to whatever you're working on, as far as like, not like saying, well, I have 4 years left of my degree, so I'm going to wait 4 years before I reach out to this person. It's like maybe at the end of the semester, or at the end of a very challenging period, like finals week or something, like, okay, now I can reach out to them, now we can talk, and now we can, or at the end of the beginning of the year, right? Because it's August when I'm recording this, but my readings, I consider them timeless. So whenever you feel called to see this, is the perfect time. But there's a natural break in whatever it is that you're working on, or whatever it is that you're doing. Like, if you're going out for a promotion, they're going to announce the candidate that they've chosen in about 6 weeks. So it's like after 6 weeks, you can finally, free up some time, some energy to give to this person. And I think you'll want to, I think you're going to get some good news that will make you feel more inspired to pursue this romantic connection. Five of Wands. We got the King of Wands. And the Four of Cups. You're really considering, like, is this your perfect match? Is this somebody that you could end up with? And maybe you feel as if this person, there's a chance that they might not be interested in you. I'm not sure why you think that. I think that's your own insecurities. You might feel like there's a lot of competition for this person, like they get a lot of attention. You might have like a class with this person. You might work with them. I feel like you see them in some capacity, just being who they are, being awesome, being cool. And I think that they probably represent kind of to you who you feel like would be a good match for you. But because they are so attractive, charismatic, they might be really social and extroverted and all that kind of stuff. It's like, would they really like somebody like me? You won't know until you try, for sure. Okay, the World. Or you might be concerned that they would only offer you a physical relationship. And once again, you won't know until you try. Okay, let's not make assumptions about people based on what they look like, based on the attention they get, because you could have all the options in the world, but if none of those are what you want, then you don't have to indulge in any of them, right? And there are masculine energies out there who are very selective with their time, their effort, their energy, and attention. And I think that's a really good thing. So it doesn't matter how much attention they get from the people around them. They are still very discerning, or they still could be very discerning, right? So don't judge a book by its cover, right? We have the Three of Swords with the World card here and the Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Okay, there's always this risk of getting hurt. There's always a risk of getting into something and getting in too deep and not being sure what the way out is, or somebody ending ties, cutting ties, separating themselves from you. There's always that risk there. There's always the potential to be rejected. And maybe you've learned through that. Oop. And we have the Three of Cups here. Kind of what this says to me is like, these are kind of, I wouldn't say opposite energies, but these are energies that represent different phases. One to me represents separation, and the other represents communion and coming together and reconciliation. So I feel like you really have the opportunity here to just try and see what happens. I think that you might have a tendency to reject yourself before other people have the opportunity to reject you. So sure, you could face rejection, right? But wouldn't it feel good just to put yourself out there, knowing that this is somebody that you find really attractive? This is somebody that you could see being your quote unquote perfect match, even though I don't believe we have just one, right? I don't believe that anybody is perfect for anybody else. And I don't believe in the concept of the one, but this person could represent someone that you feel like you could have something long-term with, or even just something interesting with. Somebody that just, you may not even be thinking about the future. You might just be thinking about, wow, they're really cute and they're really smart, or I like their personality, or at least as much as I've seen of it, right? The Ace of Wands. I feel like there's something here about this person not, once again, having options, but not only having options, but treating you like one. Ace of Wands. Now, whether they already have, or whether that's just your fear, I'm not sure. And maybe in the past, you've like dated or been with people who are similar to this person, to this King of Wands. This King of Wands could also represent somebody from your past who you thought was like your match, who maybe did put you in a third party situation. Maybe they did treat you like an option. And maybe this other energy, this other masculine energy, this new masculine is coming in and they have a very similar energy to that. So you're afraid that they might fall into the same pattern, but they're different people. Even if they're very similar, you're at a different stage of your life and you're a different person than you were when you met this other person, if there was a past person who represents this King of Wands for you. So with the Ace of Wands, we have the Wheel of Fortune. You're going to get your opportunity, okay? And just the fact that this person has come into your space, into your energy, and they have really sparked you with this Ace of Wands in a way that you didn't know you could be sparked, right? They've opened you up emotionally in a way that you didn't think was even possible anymore maybe. It's really changed things for you. It's really shifted things for you, and it will continue to until you address it. Like this is the shift that you need to go forward and take a chance to try new things, to do something different. Page of Pentacles. I think this is like somebody lighting your fire, and whether or not they're the ones who keep the fire going or not, that's irrelevant. I think they serve as a reminder. You having this crush on this person, or you really liking this person, is just a reminder that you are capable of that, and you are a human being who does desire meaningful connection and romantic relationship. We have the Judgment card coming out with the Page of Pentacles. It's going to be up to you to discern who you give your time, effort, and energy to. And just because you like someone a lot doesn't necessarily mean that it's always going to work out. But it also doesn't mean that you shouldn't try. But whatever you choose to invest your energy and time into will have consequences. And consequences aren't always negative. I know we hear the word consequences and we immediately think something negative is going to happen, something bad is going to happen, right? We don't, that's not necessarily the case, right? It could just be like the consequences of like putting yourself out there could be opening up a whole new realm of options and opportunities to you. Like I said, whether or not this person is lighting your fire and also maintaining your fire, or if they're just supposed to be the spark that lights the fire, and then you kind of go out and find different ways to keep your fire going, right? I think it's just a reminder that you do have this passion inside of you, and wherever you decide to invest that energy into, it will grow. It will become fruitful. And now I think you're going to get into a space where you're willing to explore romantic relationships from a much more grounded space. All right, Aquarius, this is what I have for you. I hope that this was helpful or enlightening in some way. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see y'all next time.